In the name of the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit, please be seated. This morning's gospel is about receiving sight. And those who think they have sight are made blind. He is teaching us about the reality of God in our midst. God is able to restore our sight so that the glory of God might be revealed. Well, who revealed the glory of God? Jesus revealed the glory of God to whom? To the man born blind. He said, you've seen him. And he's standing in front of you. That's a revelation. He revealed the glory of God. Opened his eyes, there he was, the glory of God. This command over our perceptions. He is able to command the reality that we perceive, whether it be the fish in the sea, the storms in the sky, whether it be the lame, the blind, the demon-possessed, the sick, the suffering. He is able to command the things that we perceive as reality. Therefore, reality is bendable. Reality is perception-based. I'm standing here looking at you. You're sitting there looking at me. We're sharing the same event, but our perceptions are completely different, and each one of you has a different perspective of this reality because you're in a different position. And you come from a different place, a place of experience. So therefore, our perception of reality is considerably biased and subject to error. Our lying eyes what is it that you want of me? Jesus asked. Lord, that I might receive my sight. And he did. He opened his eyes to the reality that was in front of us, the reflection of light and absorption of light that we perceive through our eyes, through our optic nerves, and through our brain that we can recognize as patterns. And we say, oh, that's a door, that's a cup, that's a fan. This is a reality, something I've seen before. But it's also revealing that there is so much more to reality than what we can see, hear, taste, and smell, and touch. The reality that is all around us is permeable, and he says, if you will have faith, you can tell the mountain to move into the sea, and it will do so. Therefore, that reality is subject to command by a more powerful force than gravity. What is that force? Do you believe in the Son of God? Show me so that I can believe. He's standing before you, and you have seen him. And you've seen his mighty works, and you've heard his mighty voice, and you've heard his insight. He has led you. Don't go there, go here. The glory of God has been revealed to each of us in our own unique way that we can believe it's him. And in this perception that we can say, I believe in you, O Son of God, restore my sight. He will give you this insight which is power from on high, that is driven by your faith in him. Is it your power? Is it my power? No, it's his power that we tap into, and this is what we call sight. The ancient Christians know this. They describe all of existence as sound or light. They describe all of existence as a vibrational reality. The ancients know this. And through the use of our vocal cords, we can chant into a vibration, something that returns to our mind and opens up a channel for us. The ancient hesychasts, I am a hesychast, will meditate on the identity of Jesus. O my Jesus, Son of the living God, have mercy upon me. O my Jesus, Son of the living God, have mercy upon me. O my Jesus, Son of the living God, have mercy on me, a sinner. And by meditating on this mantra, on the identity of Jesus, we are able then to open up through this vibrational existence a perception of our mind, an ascension of our mind into the light of God. And there are testimonies after testimonies after testimonies, centuries after centuries, of people who have experienced this, that have known a reality of God that is beyond our human perception, that know a reality and existence of everything beyond our sensual perceptions. Most people on earth that you encounter, and maybe you yourself until today, have been wandering through our life sort of sleepwalking, going by intuition, going by a feeling. What's a gut feeling? What should I do? Responding to a combination of physical urges. I'm hungry, I'm cold, I'm hot. I'm tired, I'm angry, whatever you feel. These feelings are energies that are experienced within us in our experience. And we react to those things, we act and react, and we bounce off of each other like balls in a pinball machine. And this is an experiment that you can actually do if you take any amount of psychology tests, courses. They do behavioral experiments with rats or mice. Take a mouse and put him in a box, just a box. He gets to run around inside that, and he gets used to that. That's his world. Inside that box, he's comfortable. And he will go where the food is. He will go where the water is. He'll go do his business. Introduce a second mouse. They will fight for the food. They'll interact in a way until they get used to each other, and then they both will share the food. If you do something like turn up the temperature, now all of a sudden it's too hot for them, they'll fight and they'll kill each other. Cut the food in half, they'll fight till they kill one another. And so these stimulus that you can do with mice can also be applied to interaction with humans, we think. It's borne out by experiment. You try it yourself. If you take the mouse now you put a third one in, a fourth one in, and they have babies, and you have lots of mice in there. The pressure is unbearable. They want to kill each other. You take one of those mice, lift him up, put him over here in a box by himself, and he will repeat the original pattern. Interesting. Human beings are the same way. You put stress on human beings in a group, they're going to fight, they're going to kill each other. But if you ask for mercy to escape from that environment, be placed into a world of peace, where you have no stress. It is a moment of relief until you get lonely. And then you yearn for the companions that you used to have. And so we don't know what we want. We want the stress-free environment, or we want our companions. Dilemma. If you can be in a state of peaceful coexistence and love, in other words, your highest self, then you can share the food. Or you can come to a different reality of presence of mind and say, well, let's go find some more food. Maybe we can grow a garden. Maybe we can, eat the other mice. Conspiracy. All these different theories and all these different interactions among people. Well, the world of God, we are told today to receive our sight is to be able to see the big picture. To be able to see, from 40,000 feet or 100 miles out from Earth and look at the whole Earth. I remember when John Glenn was the first man to orbit the Earth. 1963. Or was it 62? I don't know. One of those years. First man to orbit the Earth. And they asked him, what was it like? He says, I've never experienced humility like I experienced there. I realized that this whole Earth and everything that we know, everything that we have ever learned, all history has existed on this particular planet. And that everything is all there. And we are the dominant species on this planet, and all things belong to us, and here we are trying to destroy one another and each other. Why? The pressures that are upon us don't make any sense. Wars among people who have nothing against each other. He said to see the world as one was like I was sharing the eyes of Christ, he said. Interesting insight. And so when he says, do you believe in the Son of God? The man who was healed said, I would. Show me who he is. You have seen him, and he's standing before you. And he worshipped him. This is a revelation that is so profoundly powerful, because it not only shows the opening of of our perception to us, but it also shows the consequences of those who refuse to see, who are stuck in their box, would rather fight than be liberated from it. They're trapped in their own trap. They're imprisoned by their own prison. They become their own jailers. And so the perception that Jesus says, though you were born blind, now you see. And those who say you see, you remain blind. It is about the opening of our realization that reality is subject to perception. And if you can say, oh God, that I might see, that I might have my sight, it will be granted to you to see things, to know wonders, to experience powers, to experience insights, to experience time and space travel. To get to know the whole mind and experience of mankind. To sit in the light and to be absorbed by it. One of my main teachers in this religious life is a poet, writer named Thomas Merton. Thomas Merton became a Cistercian monk. He was a college teacher, professor, and he had underwent a religious experience. He was baptized, and he was called into a solitude, into the contemplative life of the Cistercians, of the strict observance, an ancient order of monks. And he wrote about this and his whole journey of coming into this vocation, including up to his priesthood. And then he continued, he says, I need to get out of here. I can't just be in this box with these people. I need to experience the freedom of being alone. And so, being in the box with all the people in the box in the monastery, the cenobium, he was feeling the pressure of being with all those people and the constrictions of the rules and the expectations that were arbitrarily and capriciously put upon every member in there. And he said, the rule becomes their God. I yearn for the freedom. And so he petitioned his abbot, and they gave, his last abbot was my last abbot. And he petitioned them so that he could be a hermit and establish a hermitage on the monastery grounds. He could live by himself. And he was doing this for some 2 years. And then finally one day he says, I'm a hesitist. I've seen it. The light. It happened to me on the rock outside by my garden. And he was never the same. Do you think the man that was born blind, that was given his sight, could ever go back to being blind again? No. Because once you've seen it, now you know an experience that you can never forget and never go back. And the experience of the light, of coming into the light of Christ that fills you in all of your senses and all of the chakras that you may have, we call them virtues. The Buddhists will call them chakras. Purity of heart, humility, compassion, understanding, wisdom. These patience and endurance. These virtues, there are many of them. Faith, hope, and love. We call them virtues. But they actually have vibrational realities in our mind that we can know as thoughts. We can know them as energies. What is patience? What color is it? What does it sound like? And so when you say, it happened to me on the rock, the light of Christ has filled me, and I know it, and I can never unknow it. If you ask for this, Lord, that I might see, Lord, that I might have my sight, show me the way I should walk, Teach me your ways. Let me know some of your understanding. Bring it to me so that I can know it and never unknow it. That I can put away the things of this world of trying to fight everybody, and yet if you take the one little mouse that is now reacclimated to being alone and is comfortable in his own space, has enough food, has enough everything, he knows what mercy is, and he has been taken from the stress and the fighting and the infighting and put him in his own little box, and now he has this mercy. Now if you take that one enlightened mouse and put it back in the box with all the others, he's a prophet. I've seen the light. I know another way. There's a better way than all of this. What do the other mouse do? Do they listen? Inevitably, they will kill him. You understand? Get this now? And so it is with Jesus. The persecution of the man who was born blind and was given his sight continued. They didn't let it go at that. You were born a sinner, you're still a sinner. Why? Because that was what they were taught. Who sinned, this man or his parents, that he was born blind? This is a birth defects, and anyone who was born, not perfect, was a sinner. And that was God's punishment for the sin. The sin that was inherited, the sin from his parents, the sin from him, whatever was a punishment. We don't look at it like that anymore, do we? Someone born with that disfigurement. Something wrong. Born with one kidney. Something like that. Deaf, dumb. So, those are the ancient ways, but this way is the way that I'm calling you into this state of light. And this is a call to each and every one of you to seek the Lord in this manner. Lord, that I might see. Restore my sight, that I might know the reality that is you in my midst, in my presence, so that I can never unsee it, even if they want to kill me.